From the studios of Hub Radio Phoenix, it's the Jay Lawrence Show. Now, here's Jay.
Good evening, welcome. Thank you so much for letting us be part of your evening. I am very fortunate in that David Schweikert, Congressman David Schweikert, joins us here tonight. And you and I have known each other a long time.
No, and we should let the audience know if we seem a bit on the familiar side with each other. I truly have known you most of my life.
You were what, 5 or 6?
Oh, no. I mean, think about that.
Yes.
You know, I mean, when I was in my 20s, you were kind enough to put me on the air.
It wasn't kind enough. I was lucky enough to get you to come on the air.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. And then we became friends, and business crossed paths and all sorts of things over the years. So I guess you and I are like bad pennies to each other. We can't get rid of each other.
David, one of the things that bothers me is the fact that there are commercials out about you. People are running some terrible ads about you, and it bothers me because of our friendship and because I know that they're lying.
You know, the amusing thing, are they current ads?
I haven't seen them lately.
I haven't seen them. And look, you know what it's like. The fact of the matter is, politics is a brutal, tough business. The old saying is not beanbag.
Yes, it is. And
if you're not ready to do two things, get your head smashed in and turn around and punch back, don't get involved in it. We have too many, particularly on the conservative side, that want to whine all the time and not toughen up and understand the public, the voting public, has lives. They're taking care of their families. They're trying to make a living. They're trying to survive. You only get tiny snippets of their attention. So our arrogance of thinking people are paying attention to us. So sometimes you got to put it together, ads, pieces of mail, things that are impactful, so they get seen in those couple seconds someone has to think about politics before they go back to their real life. And you're just going to get, sucker punched. And if it starts to hurt your feelings, don't get in politics.
Find a different way of life.
And understand. This is also something that the left systematically, forgive my language, screws with us. The left is very, very dominant and very powerful on social media. They, a decade ago, started training their activists, on the MoveOn.orgs and these groups. They used to hold seminars in North Scottsdale, of all places, and teaching people, saying, here's how you manage multiple accounts pretend to be multiple people. Here's how you track a state legislator, a city council person, a member of Congress, and never let them say, a nice sunset tonight, here's my new puppy, without you attacking them. If that rots your soul, if that upsets you, don't get in politics. As conservatives, if you're an activist and that bothers you, learn how to punch back on those social media and say, this is a troll, this is, someone that works for the Democrat Party. Make it clear that these folks are just trying to create enough noise to always raise our negatives. It's about ultimately winning elections. And that's something we don't fixate enough on.
You've brought up an important point, and I think that it is important to ask, America is angry. We have an angry country, people who are angry at each other right now. Why? What do we do about it?
You and I've had this conversation now for years, so
yes.
I hope this was your setup. And to make it clear, Jay and I have talked about this now for years. I believe it's business model. A family saying that I embrace is money, power, vanity. But mostly it's about the money. The fact of the matter is, if you went tonight right now and watched MSNBC, if you can stomach it for a half an hour
right,
without choking, you realize the crazy things that are being said is a business model. if they say enough crazy stuff, the segment that watches them stays and watches more. And you know the advertising world. For a cable news network, if I have, 200,000 people watch for an extra 5 minutes, what did that mean in my advertising book? But the fact of the matter is, many of the things you see on blogs come in your email, that are text to you, that are out there on so-called websites where they have headlines that are just hateful, are things that are, in many ways, are completely fake. It's about the money. It's, can I get you to click? Can I get you to view? And the advertiser pays them 50 cents because
David,
of the eyeballs. We basically have created a society now where media doesn't actually, I believe, give a damn about telling us the truth. They're trying to make money off of us.
Are they creating these angers?
It's a business model.
Oh, boy.
If I can have you angry, what do? You actually show up and watch it again. You show up for reaffirmation. We're being played. A lot of the leftists and even some of my conservative websites and those things play us. They play us for money.
I am always nonplussed at the thought that the networks are playing with me. I am not happy. I used to watch Sean Hannity all the time. I would watch Tucker Carlson all the time.
I'm a big Tucker fan, so you need to know that.
I think they are being more controlled now than they have ever been before.
I don't see that. But what I do see is, and you've been in media how many years?
A bunch. 50?
50? So,
For sure.
So you've seen it. How often would you hit that quarterly ratings book?
Right.
And that was life or death. If you're a newspaper today, where do you make your money? You don't make it on the print ads. You don't make it on selling subscription. You make it on your clicks on your website.
That's interesting, yes.
So why? Come on, it's so obvious. It's in front of us. If you and I believe it's always ultimately about the money with these people, if they're going to write a crazy headline and then you read the article and go, well, that article doesn't support that headline, but they got me to click on it. And then the ads that pop up around it, they got 50 cents, 25 cents, 35 cents. That's how they're making money.
It's all changed. It's all changed.
Well, there was an interesting story a couple years ago I came across. It was talking about attempts to use algorithms on cable news shows saying if you mentioned Donald Trump's name on CNN or MSNBC,
Right.
their viewership would stay and watch this many minutes more. And it became part of the game of why you would mention certain stories over and over and over and over. Because people watched, and yet you didn't have to pay reporters. You didn't have to have a news bureau in different parts of the world, different parts of the country. You didn't have to have stringers out there researching. You could just basically have someone tell a story, interview some of the same people over and over. They knew the buzzwords. And we as the American public watch and got angrier and angrier.
And they're doing
and
it
angrier.
purposely.
If it gets us to watch,
Yes.
we make them money. Now, the fact of the matter is there's evil, horrible things going on in Washington.
That's what we want to talk about. Washington today is the same mess that America is.
I think it's much worse.
Really?
And here's part of my theory. A couple weeks ago, we had the fireworks show up in Fountain Hills.
Right.
And in the little area of grass we were sitting, there was a nice couple here that were obviously had only been here a few years from India. Over here was an African-American couple. Here was a very big Hispanic family. And we're all sitting with the other, holding our flags, having a joyous time.
Right.
There was love there. They were there for the fireworks. They were there to celebrate. We weren't tearing apart each other. That's real America. The dystopian crap you see on that television, on our internet, and happens in Washington, D.C., where they tear us apart. That's not real America. I'm actually incredibly optimistic that America actually is much more together than we give it credit for. It's the politicians, the political consultants, the media consultants that need us to be at our throats to raise money and to gain power. And we play into their hands.